Weight loss versus muscle gain. So first, let's just define what is muscle gain and what's happening when you actually break down your muscles, rebuild them, and you get bigger muscles. And so what happens is we go work out, we have all these fibers inside of our muscles, we work out hard, and it breaks those fibers down. Well, they need protein and they need food to go and repair them. And when they rebuild back up and they're repaired, they end up getting bigger. And this happens over time. When you look at how long it really takes to gain true lean muscle, it takes much longer than it is to just lose fat. And so one of the biggest things as we work with people and we see is everybody wants a certain type of look. They want to look better naked, they want to look in the mirror, and they want to be happy with what they see. And sometimes our thought process goes to, okay, I just need to gain more muscle in order to have that look. But if we could flip that, what is true 99% of the time is we're actually we all have muscle. We can walk, we can lift, we can function, there's muscle there, but it's covered up by a layer of fat. And if we could just remove that layer of fat, then we actually have the look that we're wanting without having to gain a ton of muscle. And so when you look at it this way and say, okay, if I want to get to what I want to look like, my goal look, then the fastest way to do that is by just losing the fat that's covering up the muscles. And so I saw this in my own experience. I see it with a ton of guys, especially who want to look big, want to look strong. And so I was like, you pick a weight and you say, okay, I want to be this weight because at that weight, that's where I feel like I'm going to be big enough. I'm going to be able to walk through the door. I'm going to have the muscles I want. And so I did an experiment on myself and I said, okay, I'm weighing in at about 220 pounds. I fill out all my clothes, but I don't look shredded. I don't look like I have a ton of muscles. And so I went through a 12-week program and I ended up getting down to 196, 197 pounds. And the funny thing was I was almost 30 pounds lighter and everybody thought I looked bigger. And it was because my muscles actually were the same size, but I lost all of the fat underneath. And so I looked shredded. I looked the look that I've always wanted to have, but I was actually lighter. And so as you go through your journey, make sure you're identifying exactly what you really, really want. Because sometimes if you're going for the look, it's just about uncovering the fat. Now, if you truly want to be bigger, you want to measure, you want to have a bigger chest, bigger arms, bigger legs, then you just go into a slight calorie surplus and you feed those muscles until you look like, okay, I need to get back. I want to be a little more shredded. I want to see more abs. And then you go back into a slight deficit and then you see the abs and then you can keep building and going back and forth between a slight surplus, build the muscles about 6 months, slight deficit, maybe a month or two to just shred the fat that is going to build while you build the muscles. Because if you're in a calorie surplus, by definition, we're eating more calories than we're burning, which means, yes, it will be quicker to build muscle, but also simultaneously, you're going to gain some amount of fat, and that's okay. So now you understand the process of what it looks like between true weight loss versus muscle gain. Now, last question that I get a lot is, well, if I'm in a deficit, can I still gain muscle mass? And yes, you can, especially if you are a beginner. Let's say you've never lifted before, you've never really been on a diet, then yes, you can, but it gets harder and harder and harder and harder the more experienced you are as a weightlifter, as somebody that does resistance training. And so then it becomes even more important to dial in the diet, dial in how much protein you're eating, how much total calories you're eating, because the more experienced you become, the margin for error is much, much less. And so there's your overview of what it is between true weight loss and true muscle gain.